The female way is finding your own way. We don't need to become someone else. We don't need to change. So this is what the female way stands for, is finding yourself back. People will always have comments. It doesn't matter. Even if you try to become someone else, comments, they're always there. This journey, which is called life, is basically becoming more of you. That's it.
Okay, let's just start. Welcome to a new episode of the Bridging Podcast.
Tomorrow is going to happen whatever we do. Is it better to go into tomorrow trusting a voice, a practice, process, a way forward? Or is it better to go into tomorrow filled with fear and not believing the things that have gotten you here so far?
Create a new reality. I close my eyes and I will be there. I will dream it.
Welcome to the new episode of the Bridging Podcast. The Bridging Podcast is here for you to make you learn, practice, and transform in all areas of your life. This episode is special for women and everyone that is involved with women, partners, people that work with women. I'm here with my guest, Humita Premmiela. So I'm going to introduce you. It's a lot, and I tried to funnel this down, Humita. So you are an intuition coach that guides women to embrace their femininity. Before she started doing this work, this journey, around 10 years ago, she was at a top position at one of the best media multinationals. While she was at the top, there was something not really good. There was something wrong. She felt empty from the inside. She quit her job, followed an unknown road that was all about embracing the person and woman she is and embracing the women we all are. I would say Humita is a woman with glow on her face, spark in her eyes, and love in her heart. Welcome, Humita.
Wow. Oh, that's so beautiful. You touched my heart. Thank you. You did your homework.
Welcome. It's so nice to have you here. Actually, you are now in Tulum. I am now in Cartagena. We are both actually from Amsterdam. And it's funny that we are now here together. My first question for you is, what is the female way?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me and making time. And this is what I love doing the most, and speaking about all the things we deal with during the day. And the female way is actually already like the main question. So well done. Is finding your own way. So I don't know if you had the same, but I was always like looking for something to transform and to change and to become someone. First, it was someone my parents wanted me to be, and in the end, it's just about becoming the woman we're supposed to be, like coming home to ourselves. We don't need to become someone else. We don't need to change. So this is what the female way stands for, is finding yourself back. Really coming home to yourself.
Finding yourself back, coming home to yourself.
Yeah.
And when do you know that you have come home to yourself? How do we know that? Is that feeling it?
That's the moment you do not ask this question anymore. That's the moment you do not ask this question anymore. When you know, you know. When you're home in your body, you know.
So can you tell us about Humita that was not home in her body before? Like she was not home and now she is home. What is the before and after? Who is the Humita before and after?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, because then you know the difference. So I knew that I was home the moment that I stopped searching or wanting to become something. When the period in my life, let's say the first chapter of my life, when I was still searching, and we're all searching. This morning I had a beautiful talk with a German guy in a coffee place here in Tulum. There are like many coffee places where I live. And there was this beautiful, handsome German guy, and there was no place. The terrace was full, so I asked him if I could join him, and we had this beautiful conversation. And he was asking me basically kind of the same question. And then he said, but aren't we all seeking and searching for happiness, for love? I said, yeah, I think this is the human experience. And then we had a conversation about that. And I shared my own story. Like in the first chapter of my life, I was indeed running a company, and I was in the board, part of a management team. And I had, on one point, a couple of hundreds people around me to take care of. And it was very sexy, very rock and roll. Yet I was basically filling myself up from all that beauty outside. So the job, the title, the money, my big SUV, my amazing man who was really amazing. I was living this picture perfect. That's what my girlfriends always told me. Yet I felt like, I can say around 70%. So 30% was an emptiness inside of me, which I was filling up. Filling up with booze, with other stuff, with going out, with a full schedule, with an agenda, with having amazing friends, social life. And I was aware of that. Yet at that time, I mean, I'm speaking about 20 years ago, there were no coaches and teachers and guides, and it was not so common us having this conversation. But I was feeling it. And filling it up from outside and changing that into going inside and becoming total and full and complete. That's the word I was looking for. Complete from the inside. That's where fully living is. That's what the female way means. And I just noticed myself using the word change. It's not that I'm becoming another person. I changed into the full of me. By accepting who I am, by surrendering to my personality, with all my imperfection, with all my too muchness, with all my whatever. I always...
Yeah, too muchness. That is so relatable. Too muchness. You're too much.
Yeah.
Too muchness.
I wanted to change into relaxing, a more peaceful person, a more relaxed person, and whatever people wanted me to become. But then you become someone else.
So you gave actually, in my words, let's say, like a birth to you that was already going to be born, but it wasn't there. It is the you. It's not that you have changed. No, you are you. And you just gave birth to it. And it was maybe pregnant, but it didn't come out. And now it is out there.
100%.
And I also would think like it might be also a really scary thing because, there are so many different circumstances that form you, like, indoctrinations, early indoctrinations by parents, teachers, everyone that is involved in raising you up. And also, what other people would say about you, what they think about you. If you're so conditioned about thinking about what would they think about you. For example, I was definitely a tomboy when I was growing up. I loved games, rough games. I loved playing with boys. And, and that was in a way appreciated, but also in a way not appreciated. You should be a girl, play with Barbies and all. And then, I was born in the Netherlands, but I was raised by Turkish parents and through Turkish standards, norm, what they had learned. And that was also like after you become 12, 13, 14 years old, like, hey, just be a little bit timid, don't be too much. And don't show yourself, don't do your hair loose or whatever all these things are. Well, you actually want it, but then you think, oh, maybe actually my tomboy is more appreciated. Let me just go back to it. But while actually a feminine side of me, whatever that is, wants to also be born. But once it is born, I was super scared I won't be approved of anymore.
Yeah.
And then I just kept it always inside. And, there has been for such a long time that I have found it so difficult to embrace my femininity and lead my life by that.
Exactly. And
Very,
you're not
very
the
difficult.
only one. Yeah, very, very difficult. I mean, I hear you say a couple of things. Thank you for this beautiful sharing. It can be scared. It can be difficult. Comments of other people, indeed the too muchness. And this is something, you're not the only one. Almost everyone, around 85% of female beings are dealing with exactly this. So we're in the same boat, all of us.
Yeah.
And luckily things are changing, but it can be very scary to go back to yourself, to become more of you, to become whole and complete and embrace the person you are. It can be super scary because you don't know but the thing is, people will always have comments. It doesn't matter. Even if you try to become someone else, comments, they're always there. So that's the first thing to accept. And this journey, which is called life, is basically becoming more of you. That's it. And that's a female way. Becoming more of you. And this is what our common friend Joe Dispenza always says. Just becoming more of you. And I can tell you, because I've been doing this work now more than 15 years and worked with more than 1,000 women, when you arrive home, you're not scared anymore. And it's not difficult anymore because it's you. But the journey can look a bit challenged and can feel a bit off and unknown because we're not used to. We come from a society and from a conditioning that we have to become something, someone in order to be approved. But that's so old paradigm.
And during the becoming you process, everyone that is kind of not being there anymore, they also shouldn't be there anymore because you are becoming you, and you will attract everything that belongs to that frequency you are on, that you frequency.
Exactly. And in my world, that's really, you said it also, this femininity. I mean, we've been hiding, we've not really showing ourselves, whether you felt more like a boy or a tomboy or whatever. But embracing this juice, this beautiful feminine body with this fluidity we have and the beauty and really showing the skin. This is for us becoming more ourselves. So we experience more pleasure, more happiness, more joy, but it comes from the heart. It's so real. It's so pure. We become like little girls again, like this giggling.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the feminine energy, Humita. Like, there's of course a definition of what it is, but my definition has changed over the years. Like, especially when I was younger, in my teenage years, I was like, feminine energy is like the girls that like to wear high heels and princesses just walk like that. But I never liked that back then. I was, as I said, I liked the tomboy way. And then I was turning 20, in my 20s, I was more like, all about that. And then, at the age of 30, I think 30 is a really important age here, maybe for me especially. I was like, it's actually really embracing all of me. Like, for example, I'm a leader, and I knew, like, in my 20s, like, maybe I should just be a little quiet.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say things. Oh my God, I may be too much for men, but also other women. Women felt intimidated by me. Oh my God, she's too much. And so I kind of tempered it, but I also knew I'm not this only the go, but I'm also that. I'm that and this. So in my 30s, I became more like, this is me. Yes, I am the leader, but I am also the woman that cries when she's really emotional. I'm also the woman that cries when she gets rejected by a man she loves. For example, I'm just owning it more and more, and I have to say I'm definitely not there. Each time I feel like I'm just starting. The more I get further, I'm like, I'm just starting. But how can we as women that are listening to this right now or watching it on YouTube define for ourselves what our feminine energy is?
Very good question. Well, something to start with is we're never there. You always have a choice whether you're the teacher or the student. And it's easy to just stay in the shoes of a student. You're never there. Just stay curious and play and keep loving the journey you're in. So this is very important for every female being or person who feels like a woman. And the feminine energy is the energy of the goddess. It's the energy of the queen, of the royal sovereign. You have so much grace. You're here in this human body to live a life with grace and effortless and fluidity. It's like we are 80% water. But if you step into, I work a lot with archetypes, when you step into the goddess archetype and you bring that tantric fluid energy, you accept that and you embrace that and you feel it running through your body. This is this sacred feminine energy. You know when you feel it. This morning when I was walking up to this terrace to have my morning coffee, what I do, and this is something I can give already to women who are listening, what I often do instead of listening to a podcast right away, I start to connect with my body. So I was walking here in the jungle and I start to share some my favorite affirmations that I love my body, I'm here to take care of my body, and that she keeps on surprising me in a beautiful way. And I'm 45 and I feel more younger and my face looks more amazing over the years. I have 0 gray hairs, and then I start to be grateful for my body and I start to breathe, and then I connect with my heart. And I was really feeling to my heart. And then all of a sudden, I think it was around like after 10 minutes, I was like, oh, what's happening? And I just had it felt like a heartgasm. And I teach a lot about a heartgasm, but I was feeling it again. It was like my whole heart was exploding, and I stopped and I was like, oh, wow. And this is this real feminine energy we have. You just feel it. You feel so complete and so fluid and so strong, yet vulnerable at the same time.
Yes.
It's so real.
Very strong and vulnerable at the same. Yes, it brings me to lots of memories. Actually, maybe I might share it later on when we talk. But at the same time, what it does with me, I feel that energy that is really going through me right now. That feminine, that woman power. I feel it. But at the same time, what happens to me, and I think it might also happen with some of the listeners, I feel so ashamed. I'm like, ooh, vulnerable, but
yeah.
I mean, is someone looking at me now? Oh, did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Or is it too much? It's almost like, even like, if you feel like if you are so into someone, a guy or a woman, I mean, for the women that are into women, that you just want to kiss the person and hug, but you want to do it in a way no one is there. No one is there. I'll just do it, but no one is there. And if possible, turn the lights off.
Exactly.
That feeling.
Oh.
How do we deal or work on that? Because I had this experience. I am so into someone, so drawn to a person, like so much. But what happens, he walks to the right, I go to the left, he walks to the left, I go to the right, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I have the block, and then luckily I was at a Dr. Joe event, and then and I was in a meditation the next time, and the trainer said like, hey, Gregg, push it to your heart. Push it to your heart. When that energy comes, just pull it, not push it, just pull it through your heart, because it was so stuck on my navel. And then once I did that, it was gone. It was just gone.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So about the shame, let's just go. Sorry, I just talked about this and that. About the shame, how can we actually work on that?
Shame is one I know myself very well. I started this work because of the shame I was facing. I was that person who was in a 13-year relationship, and when we got intimate, I always asked him to turn off the lights. And I started to do this work because I felt so locked, and I knew there was something on the other side. But I was so, when I felt that energy, what goes along with, for example, liking someone, or even more intimate, or like pleasure or juices, I felt so much shame. Lights out, door closed, no sound. And we managed our way through this amazing, beautiful relationship. Yet I always felt that there was something more, but shame was basically keeping me small. And I surrendered to it because, like I said in the beginning, there were no people I could reach out to or share this with. And on top, there was a lot of shame on it. So I stayed with that. But then life helped me. Life just gave me a mission. And that was to conquer shame. I remember walking in India, in Pune, in the Osho resort. And that was after the big bang in my life, 2010. I just knew what my mission was. And that's to overcome shame and the taboos from the Indian culture.
That.
Yeah.
I love that
so
much. I mean, there's also so much in the Turkish culture. Overcoming shame.
And how do you overcome shame? By facing it, and by accepting it, and by looking at it, and by not going away from it anymore. Because in the end, shame is an emotion, as all the emotions we have, like joy and pleasure and anger, and we have shame, and they're all there. They're all little friends, and one is a little bit more better friend, and one you rather keep outside. But as long as we're pushing away the shame, it will come back bigger, 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 bigger. But we move into felt sense. We're going to move into what are we experiencing? Because my felt sense, I could feel that there was inside of me such an orgasmic, free, wild being. And so suppressed. And a little shame on top. That I literally locked myself. Literally. My first energy centers, I just locked myself. Because of the shame. And up here, I was free. The way I was dressing, I was free. The way I was expressing myself, I was free. And I compensated to become very successful in the world and earn a lot of money. And I ticked all the boxes. Yes. But then, this shame thing came back to me. And life just gave me a very big mission. And that's when I turned around my life and started to support and mentor women on their path of overcoming shame. If you know me a little bit longer, I always say we're all here to live an extraordinary, shameless life. Successful, sensual, and spiritual.
Successful, sensual, and spiritual, extraordinary life.
Yes.
Do you feel like you conquered shame?
200%.
200%. Okay.
Is it always away? Is it always gone? Does it never come to me anymore? No, definitely not. It will still show up from time to time, but I know how to conquer her.
Yeah. How do you conquer her when it comes?
Facing her. And I have developed over the years a toolbox full of methods how to deal with shame. So there are many ways, guided meditations, breath work, writing exercises, tantric practices, because over the years from the businesswoman I became a therapist specialized in this field. And I developed my own 7 steps model to deal with this. And it will be published in my first book coming up.
Oh, super nice. When is your book going to be published?
Well, honest, I have a bit of a delay. So it should have been there already. But now my intention is to finish the book writing here within the 3 months. I will be hanging around here in Mexico and have it published by the summer.
Oh, super, super nice. Can't wait for this. Thank you, Humita. Hey, Humita, like if you can share one tool for the listener, the watcher about conquering shame, one tool in this toolbox that you have many tools of, what would that be?
Yeah. Well, to conquer shame, you really have to start at the beginning. And that's really connecting with your femininity. Really start to get to know yourself. Because in order to conquer shame and taboo, you have to be grounded like a tree. We get this body in this lifetime, but most of us use the body and just feel like a guest and kind of taking her on a journey. In order to conquer shame, you have to go and arrive into your body. And one of the first things I'm always sharing with women who are a bit new into the field is start to have a very proper ritual every morning to connect deeper and deeper and deeper with this amazing body you have. So that can be dancing naked, affirmations, writing, breast massage. And this is when you're new into the field. When you are already a little bit longer in the field and you want to start to work with shame, is sit with it and really feel that shame in your body. And then we start to do somatic work. Where do you feel it? How does it feel? And from there, we can say goodbye.
Very nice. Will you share with me one or two affirmations?
Do you use affirmations?
A lot. I use Mind Movie, and every movie or every screen has an affirmation. So I work a lot with it.
Did you make your own Mind Movie? You have your own Mind Movie?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
did. And for example, I'm not sure if it is. Maybe it is a bit related to my feminine energy. With like few of them, as for example, I am worthy. I am open to receive. I love my sexuality. I embrace my feminine energy. I love the woman that I am.
Yeah. Do you believe what you say?
Oh, yeah. Like, now I say it, but this happens. Usually I do first a meditation. Yeah. From our friend JD, Dr. Joe. Yeah. When I'm really like in trance, and right after that trance, then I watch my Mind Movie and I just feel thoroughly, and every single picture in my movie resonates with me, creates a feeling in my heart, which I actually pull back to my brain.
That's it. That's the way. Beautiful.
That's the way. Okay.
Yeah. A big mistake I've seen a lot with my clients is that they come up with a lot of affirmations, but they don't believe that. That's why I was asking you. So often the affirmations are way too big. I am a multimillionaire. I'm living in Ibiza on a mountain. I am the king of Dubai. Yeah. You can repeat that as often as you want, but if you don't believe it, it will never come to you. So the law of synchronicity only works when your affirmation comes from your heart. So, for example, someone who's really ill, you can say 100 times, I'm healthy. But, the fact is that the body is not so healthy in this moment. So it's a little bit more difficult for the human brain to believe. But if you say the natural state of my body is healthy, then it's like a 200% yes. And this is, so Joe always says, you're coming here. What's the reason for coming here? To return back to wholeness. The natural state of my body is healthy. And this is a common one and almost for everyone in the world. Our natural being is whole, is full, is satisfied, is complete, is pure love. So my affirmations always go there. The natural state of my body is healthy. I'm pure love. I'm here to live my most amazing life. I'm here. I am a magical being, and I'm here for pure magical. I am the mystical. I'm not inviting the mystical into my life. I am the mystical. And when I say this, I'm thrilled because every cell in my body is believing this.
I get also goosebumps when you say it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah. Where can people find you, Humita? Like, you give courses, you have events coming up. Can you share a little bit about these things that you're doing?
Yeah, with pleasure and with honor. So thank you for asking me that. So you can find me. So I have a podcast as well, which is called The Female Way. You can find me under my name. Very easy. Humita.nl. That's my website. I'm on Instagram, Humita Premmiela. I'm on Facebook, Humita Premmiela. And yes, there are many beautiful things. I have a mastermind. This is a little bit for advanced women who really want to dive deep into the art of sensuality. I've been living in India for a while, and I dove very deep into the mystery of Indian sacred tantra. So in the mastermind, we dive deep into the art of sensuality. But I also have beautiful courses when you just entered the field, like an intro to tantric lifestyle, because it's not a moment, it's a way of life. It's a very sacred way of life. So yeah, you check my website and the courses are there, or you just reach out to me and me or my team will reply.
Yeah, we will put them all in the episode notes.
Cool.
Your socials, your website, everything what you just mentioned. So I want to actually end with few words. So I will say a word. You can answer only with one sentence. So let's see what you come up with.
You say one word and I answer with a sentence.
Exactly. Or
Perfect.
one word can be two.
Okay, cool.
Love. Love.
I am love.
Sexuality.
It's a beautiful journey and something very magical to embrace.
Goddess.
We are all goddesses.
Feminine energy.
Wow, it's the most beautiful thing to embrace in this lifetime.
Women.
I'm honored to have a female body.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to have a conversation with you. Thank you so much, Humita. Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, sweetheart.